What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only Ash Said It, ashsaidit.com, ashsaidit.com. Welcome back to the Ash Said It Daily podcast show. I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys for downloading the show on a daily basis. Yes, we keep it upbeat, we keep it up tempo, and we keep you informed. I am joined today by a ATL PETA demonstrator, Miss Nikki. Nikki, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, and thank you so much for passing through. I know you've got a tight schedule, but
Yeah.
so we appreciate you coming through to the show.
Yes, thank you so much.
So, Nikki, for people that have obviously been living under a rock for the last few decades, what is PETA?
So PETA stands for the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, and they focus their attention on 4 areas in which animals suffer the most, and that would be the food industry, the clothing industry, laboratories, and entertainment. So we're just bringing awareness to the cruelty of the treatment of animals that are affected in those industries.
Absolutely. So how did you become a part of this phenomenon?
So PETA reached out to, I'll take that back. I reached out to PETA just to let them know they inspired me to go vegan. I actually seen a video of a slaughterhouse through PETA's Facebook page. And I just expressed my concern on, I thank them so much for opening my eyes, because for years I would call myself an animal lover and I was actually eating animals. So I just had to take that reality check and say, look, if you love animals, you wouldn't eat them. And after seeing the treatment of what was going on with the animals in the slaughterhouse, I just totally changed in that moment, and I no longer would eat anything that had a mother. Then it came down to my clothing and my leather, just everything. I was slowly but surely just getting away from participating in anything that had to do with the cruel acts of animals. I expressed to them what I do in my community here in Atlanta. I'll go around to the locals who have dogs chained up in the backyard, and that's something that's really important to me, to kind of educate people on, what it is to be a responsible pet owner. And they had an opportunity with the Universal Circus that they're trying to remove the animals out of the show. So they reached out to me and asked me would I like to be part of the demonstration. And the first demonstration I was part of was in Atlanta in February. And I was downtown lunchtime, so it was really busy, in front of the Universal Circus headquarters. And I was a new tiger. They body painted me as a tiger, and I sat in a cage for an hour. It was rainy, it was cold, and just to imagine, I was only in there for an hour, and I knew I was going home. So to think that the animals are in those tight cages on the road, that bothered me so much. I wanted to know, how can I be part of more of these demos? And then they just decided to take me on the road with them.
Wow. That is... So what was the outcome of the demonstration? Did it make people change their minds, or?
Well, you know what? A lot of people, they didn't know the Universal Circus had animals. Because if you ever look on one of their flyers, they promote their acrobats and their DJ, and they have a really awesome show. But the animals is what we're asking people to boycott the circus until they get rid of until they get rid of the animals. And most people would come up and say, I didn't know Universal Circus had animals. So they really weren't aware. And then you had some people who had no idea the treatment that was going on with the animals. They didn't think the animals were abused, because usually when you sit and watch the show, you're not dissecting it to the point where you're like, he probably was beaten, starved to perform that trick. So it was just to explain to them and open their eyes on what was going on. And we actually had a lot of support from people who would come by and say, I never go to the circus. I would never take my kids to the circus. They really were in our corner. So it was a really good thing to see.
Absolutely. Wow. So in that case, as far as the circus goes, do you all offer an alternative for people? Do you say...
Well, yeah, we do. The alternative is, you go to the circus without animals.
Okay. Because
in an animal's natural habitat, you wouldn't see it jumping through rings of fire.
Right.
See it walking a tightrope. So we're trying to let people know animals are not here as our entertainment. If you have to beat them or starve them and have them do these silly tricks that's not even natural to them, there's nowhere they're doing it on their own free will. So as nice as the Universal Circus show is, which I don't know if you've ever been,
I haven't.
Put on an amazing show. They have the best DJ. Their acrobats are amazing. They now have dirt bike riders. Like, they have everything, and the animals, they really don't need to use the animals, so that's why we're there, just to let people know they could have a show, just let the animals go.
Gotcha. Wow, because you certainly opened my eyes to it. I don't have any little ones, so I'm not one that's on the, frequently going to different events and festivals around town. I've always heard about the Universal Circus, and like you said, on the flyers, there are no animals. Like, you just opened up my eyes right here and now. I didn't know that they had animals like that. Wow.
Yeah. So, they had a tiger when we started in February. So I was body painted as the tiger. The next demo I did in North Carolina, they no longer had a tiger. They had a zebra. So now I'm the zebra. So, they're kind of getting the message that we don't want to put them out of business. That's not the message. It's just we want the animals out the show. And I still think they will do well. Like you said, if you haven't even seen an animal on the flyer and people are still going, clearly they're not going just to see the animals.
Yeah. Because like you said, you see the acrobats, you see all the different performers that are, in there and doing different things. I mean, from what you're saying, they pretty much have a full concert going on. I'm
telling you, they have a concert. Like, you would have a good time if you were to go. But we're telling people not to go because they have the animals.
Yeah, definitely. So, Nikki, what current initiatives are going on in the city of Atlanta?
In Atlanta, let's see. So, we have the aquarium.
Yeah.
So, there's a awesome animal rights group here in Atlanta called GARB. And they do, I think, maybe monthly protests outside of the aquarium. Now, when you think of the aquarium, you see how large it is. However, the parking lot is larger than the tanks for the whales. Now, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So, those are some of the protests that are going on, I believe, monthly. You can find out about those on Facebook, as well as the Atlanta Zoo. They do the protests for the Atlanta Zoo as well. I have not been to one of those yet, but I did go to one of the protests they had for the movie A Dog's Purpose. And whether, they showed the clip of the animal being thrown in the water, the dog, and he was traumatized. Like, the push is just don't use animals for entertainment.
Yeah. Because
with anything, we don't know if these animals are hurt or abused, and more than likely they are. And we're just asking everyone if it has anything to do with animals and entertainment, food, clothing, laboratories. We're just saying steer clear of all the animals. But in Atlanta, you can always find some animal rights initiatives to jump into because there are some that are always going on. And I just may not know all of them.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. That was certainly insightful. About that. Like, so the tanks, were you talking about, which whales are you talking about? Are you talking about like the beluga whales?
So the beluga whales or any of the fish that are in there. Yeah. When you think of a fish or a whale swimming, you don't think of it going in circles.
Right.
So if the aquarium is about this big, it only can go in circles that many times. And when you think of an ocean compared to the aquarium, of course, it's going to be drastically different.
Yeah.
But the seal, they put on these shows with seals, and we know seals and dolphins are really intelligent.
Yeah.
But they put on these shows, and they say they don't abuse the animals, they don't starve the animals want to do it. But think about it. If I went to work every day and I was sick, I would call out.
Mm-hmm.
The animals don't call out.
No, they can't.
I don't want to perform at work, and if I don't want to, I kind of slack off. Animals, they don't do that. So it's something that is being done to them to make them continue to perform. So since, we don't really want to say we're speaking for the voiceless, we understand that animals, they do have a voice, animals cry, animals feel pain, and we just don't want anyone to harm them.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Wow. Because I just recall, I've only been to the aquarium once, and it was for a specialty event, so I didn't even get to see the animals or anything of that nature. I was just there, and I just remember like being this huge space, and everyone always talking about, oh, this is the world's largest aquarium, and we've got all these different things. But from what you're saying, the space in which these animals are inhabiting is just, it's not
It's not enough.
It's not enough for them to survive.
No.
It's not enough, and obviously it's not their natural habitat. We already accomplished that. But
Or it's not the natural habitat.
yeah.
And I would suggest, parents who still want to take their children out to see animals, go to your local animal rescue sanctuaries. Because these are animals that have been rescued from slaughter, have been rescued from abuse, and they're just enjoying living their life out on someone's land. Those are the places you want to support and donate money to continue to have those places open, because when you start going into your zoos and aquariums, those are all there for profit.
Yeah.
And I've been to the aquarium before I was even part of PETA or really conscious on what was going on with the animals. And I don't remember enjoying it like I thought I had to go back.
Right.
I just saw a few fish and a few whales, and that was it. But of course, I left and went home. And they're there every day with people pounding on that glass, taking pictures, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. So, Nikki, for people that are listening and tuning into the podcast and they want to get involved with PETA, what would be the first course of action for them?
So the first course of action, go to PETA.org. And while you're there, you might as well sign up to get your free vegan starter kit. And they'll mail you out a starter kit that shows you how to become vegan, how to transition. You can they'll have a group text number on the website that you can send a text to, so you can be notified with different things going on with animal abuse. So when there was the carriage horse that fell over in Charleston, they text me. I signed the petition to end carriage rides, and I believe they have now stopped carriage rides in Charlotte. Good. I believe so, but I'll double check on that. Because the horse fell over. It was exhausted, and it was just a bad thing. But they'll keep you up to date with all the animal cruelty that's going on. You can donate to any cause that feels close to your heart. They let you know about success stories of some of the animals that have made it out of slaughter. Just so many things you can be part of if you just go to PETA.org. There's so many links, and there's always a animal group in whatever city you're in or close to whatever city you live in.
Gotcha.
And you can become part of that Facebook group, because that's how I started in Atlanta with Garth. I just became part of their Facebook group.
Absolutely. And for people that want to get in contact with you and perhaps maybe work on a demonstration with you or maybe a specialty project?
I would love to see more Black girls out here with me during these demos.
Yeah. Because
growing up, I did not know anything about animal activism, animal rights. And I had no one to look to. I didn't even know that existed. So I would love little girls to care enough to want to get involved and help animals and speak up for them. And you can get in contact with me at Nikki, Nikki, 4, the PPL, and that's Nikki for the people that's at Instagram, I'm sorry. And I post the cities I'll be coming to. I post the demos that I do. And the next city that are coming up, I believe we have Raleigh, Detroit, St. Louis, and what's the last one? I can't think of the last one. But those are the 3 that are coming up, but they don't start until August.
Absolutely. Well, Nikki, thank you so very much for stopping through the show and dropping some knowledge on us, dropping some knowledge on me. On stuff that people are just not aware of. And the more that we educate ourselves, and make ourselves aware of information and things that's going on in the world. So
yes, for sure.
Definitely appreciate that. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys for downloading the podcast show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have some more surprises later on this week. Keep tuned. Stay tuned. Keep tuned to everything that I've got going on. And keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face and tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. All right? Because that's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for the history books. Social media is nice. It's fun. It's cool. But real life is so much better. I'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.